Hey, wise. Um, y'all know anytime I come on there with this is my transparency, okay? Um, y'all know I'm very, very open about my journey with God as a entrepreneur, as a businesswoman, as a coach, as a minister, as a wife, as a mother, as a sister, as a friend. I'm transparent, okay? I cannot emphasize enough that everybody have a story. We all have a story. We all have our own things that we are battling through. Don't let nobody tell you differently. When people try to show up and act like they ain't got nothing going on in their background, they're lying. Because we all are on our own journey and we're all doing, this thing called life. And one of the things sometimes it's hard because when you are on spotlight, and why I am so transparent about mine and why I'm just like, one of the things I want my wife clients to see, what I want my, the ones that I work with, the individuals that I work with, what I want them to see is I'm a human being just like you, right? I fall short sometimes just like you. I miss the mark some days just like you, all right? I still struggle in certain areas on my journey just like you. None of us ever get to this place of arriving. Sometimes it's put out there like, I have arrived. No, you are always a student on this journey. And one of the things I take very, very proud of is remaining a student, because it keeps me under the Lord, right? It just keeps me underneath the umbrella of humility. So I had shared with y'all a while ago, maybe some years ago, when I had called a little tantrum one night in my bed, and that I was asking God, like, Lord, like, does the blood still work? Like, does the blood even work? And how, like, supernaturally, I'm telling you, it was pitch black in my bedroom. Pitch black. And I can see, like, dripples of blood falling. And it was almost like God was like, what you mean, does the blood still work? Like, the blood works. Fast forward to Sunday, and I shared it on my community board on my YouTube page. One of my clients had reached out to me, saying that the Lord had, placed something in her, in her spirit concerning something, and I received it. And so I finally read the Bible verse that she referenced, and man, when I tell you that thing just told me up, it just told me up. Last night, I had a little family situation. When I say family, I mean my Florida family. My Florida family and my situation at home is totally different. So I had a little situation come up or whatever where, it was almost like, it's like you're going to either go to war and believe for this or not, right? You're going to either go to war and believe for this or not. And one of the things I had been praying about is like, God, like, are you hearing my prayers? Like, I remember being at this place once upon a time, in my marriage, feeling like, God, like, are you hearing my prayers? Like, are you hearing my prayers? And God confirmed, like, quit playing with me, all right? I'm tired of you playing with me like I'm simple out here. And I just really been feeling like God is like really been getting on me, like, I'm going to show you, because you've been really trying it. You've been really, really trying it. I done gave you grace. I've been extending grace, but you trying it now. And so I had been really just like going to him like, God, like, I know what you can do. Like, I know the things that you can do. And, it's one thing when you praying for your clients and you praying for, your business, you praying for, even, your husband and then your children. But it's another thing when you're praying for your family and people that you grew up with, people that you was raised with, it hits differently. For me, it hits differently, because it's like, this is not just, just a regular person. Like, this is my blood. This is my bloodline. Like, This is somebody I was raised in the house. We shared the same, we was in the, we come from out of the same parents. We got the same parents. And so, the Lord was like, I'm going to show you. So I had prayed this prayer for that person or whatever. And, I kind of just left it out there, whatever. Not thinking much about it, anything, or, not going into it, whatever. And then, God was like, all right. So then I got a phone call, and you hate to get those type of phone calls in the middle of the night. It's almost like I got a phone call. And as soon as I got a call, I immediately went into what I knew to do. I went into full blast of prayer. And after that prayer, I was in that prayer for like a good 30, 35 minutes or whatever. Then I got a phone call, like, it's, everything is fine. It passed, this and that, whatever. And so then God came to me and was like, that's your lane. Like that's your lane. Your lane is not what other people doing. This is your lane. So stop comparing your lane to somebody else's. Stop comparing what you do to what somebody else do. You may pray and speak and talk and do things this way, while this person may do it and say it and speak and pray that way. But I called you to a specific lane. You don't necessarily go out with the regulars. I call you for the big league stuff. I call you when things is getting ready. I call you when an emergency is in place. So you got to get yourself in position for emergencies and stop thinking that you are regular. And so I received that. It tore me up in the inside, because it was like, once again, Tanika, like, God has had to get on you once again this week. All right, we just had an incident last week. And so now we here at the top of the week, and he's like, you're going to stop playing me like regular. And so I shared to say why it's so important for you to find your place on this journey. It's so important that you find your place, and don't ever assume or think that once you arrive, so you think that nothing else or no more other challenges is coming. One of the things I just really emphasize to my wife clients is the importance of finding out who God has called you to be on this journey, right? Who God has called you to be. And even though God had spoken to me specifically about a specific person that that he's called me to be, it was one part of this person's mantle that I was struggling with. But it was almost like he, confirmed that. He confirmed that on last night. Like, don't play with me. Like, I called you to this place for a specific reason. You're not necessarily going to do all these things, but there is that one thing that you're going to do when I need you to act and be in place. It's important. It's imperative for wives to find a place on this journey. It's important that you heal. It's important that you take care of yourself. It's important that you get into that place with God. Don't ever think that you're gonna just flow through this thing and not miss it. We miss it. We all fall down. What Donovan Clarkson say? We fall down. But as long as you get back up, Jesus, right? As long as you get back up. And we never come to a place of fully arriving, because we always are going to be students. But I want to encourage you to keep the faith on this journey. Whatever God has told you concerning your marriage, and this is how I want to wrap it up. Whatever God has told you concerning your marriage, don't waver from that. This was one of my clients who said, Coach T, I chose you because in all your teachings and the things that you chose, you talked about, your thing was you didn't have a plan B. You stood on your faith. You believe God. You believe what he said, and there was no other option. You followed through what God had told you. And so I want to say that to you, wife. Follow through with what God has told you concerning your marriage. But in the meantime, continue to work on yourself. Find your place on this journey. Find out what you're supposed to be doing. And sometimes you can't necessarily find that place if you are, in a defeated place, if you are emotionally bound, if you are, mentally, broken down, if warfare is, really taking over, you can't really find your place if you're in a defeated place. And you have to come out kicking, swinging, hollering, screaming, whatever it is you got to do. Don't allow the enemy to put you in this bundle, because you will be tested. You will be tested. And even not just tested, sometimes God will challenge you or let you know. Sometimes God will put you in a position where it's like, oh, you don't know who you are, or you don't know who I called you to be. Okay, let me put you in this place and let me show you who I've called you to be. This is not the season for wives or even individuals to be out here just trying to do life all by yourself. We all need accountability. We all need mentoring. We all need guidance. You need somebody to coach you on your journey. If God has given you a specific promise concerning your marriage, keep the faith. Don't waver in that. Keep the faith. Don't waver in that. But in the meantime, do the necessary work for yourself. Get the necessary healing for yourself. Take care of yourself. Heal on this journey so you can find your place. God has called us to other assignments. You are not just called wife to your husband. You're not just called to your marriage. You're not just called as a mother. There are other things that God wants to do and wants to show you on this journey. You have to find your place. Take care of yourself. Find your place. Listen, if you are still struggling on this journey of your marriage, I want to encourage you to sign up for your wife consultation. You can sign up today at www.marriagechroniclesbytanika.com. Blessings.